bro. I'm so sick and tired of this bullshit. Why don't they commit to anything? They're not even gonna commit to this. This is just gonna be some niggas in some suits, some Iron Man cosplay ass shit. Why the fuck are they in the woods larping about? Why the fuck are they killing people? Why are they just gonna be serial killers? This is just gonna be some serial killers around. I'm tired of just serial killers just being fucking variants. Geralds, civilians, people I don't know yet. How you doing today? Hi, I'm Noodle Boy, and I'm your favorite friendly neighborhood fugitive. At least I should be. I should be the only one, right? But I'm bringing you videos back at you from the safety and comfort of your own homes. Why? Because I love you. Geralds, I love you. Civilians, I love you. Geralds, you're a little bit above the civilians on the social bracket. We don't tell them yet. Other people that are just coming in, you could be a Gerald too if you just hit the, do the YouTube thing, like, comment, subscribe, all that junky junk. But I'm not gonna waste your time because we got a beautiful video on the downfall, or should I say the utter implosion of Riverdale by Super Eyepatch Wolf. And I felt like I should bring this to y'all attention because I don't know if y'all watch Riverdale, but I kept up with the entire fucking series until recently. Boy, it hurts my soul when I tell you that Riverdale really just, it had solid start, and then somewhere along the line they were like, bro, what if we just dip the storyboard in the faculty bathroom toilets, bro? And what if, not only that, what if we just swirl it around a little bit and then we just drink a bunch of coffee and we just defecate all over the storyboard and use that as a story, bro? I'm not joking when I say this. This shit, the way Riverdale went down is abysmal. Like, there is not a series that will ever, there's not a series right now that will ever, and I mean ever, go down the path that Riverdale went down. Riverdale went down woke Disney path and still was like, bro, we're in the thick of it, let's just go further. But I'm talking already too much. This is an hour and 8 minutes. I'm gonna try to not pause as much.
122 days since I made a video about Riverdale. I remember the evening of its upload with great clarity. After spending months of my life creating a Riverdale video, I celebrated by doing what any normal person would do.
Reading?
I watched the new episode of Riverdale.
Why?
And what I saw horrified me. The characters of Riverdale engaging in a fist fight with a swarm of mechanical ant people.
See, this is the shit I'm talking about, bro. This is the shit I'm talking about. My fucking show. What the fuck? These are normal human beings. This is not fucking, these are not the Avengers. She's not fucking Scarlett Johansson. That's not ScarJo. He's not. Keep it together. I'm gonna keep it together.
People, no. This couldn't be happening
Keep
for
it together.
weeks. I had labored over a video designed to both ridicule and celebrate the insanity of Riverdale. But now, this single scene invalidated everything I had done, making my video obsolete. A babe born onto this world, only to immediately wither and die. This filled me with a gnawing inadequacy that only grew more corrosive.
I hate this
in the
bitch.
months
This
that
perfect
followed,
ass
as
can never
each
do
new
wrong, even though he's
episode,
clearly
each
in the
new
wrong ass bitch.
Revelation only deepened the pit of failure.
What the fuck is that? The Mothman?
I thought I
Mechanized?
understood what Riverdale was, but now I was forced to reconcile that I knew nothing. At times, it nearly felt like the show was laughing.
I'm sorry. Look, I know I said no pauses, but this is a reaction, my guy. I gotta talk about this because I got some shit to get off my chest. First off, she was bad, bro. She was bad. First off, she was bad. I'm not gonna hit anybody with names because, like, right now at the time, even names escape me. Names escape. I'm so mad at this show. I'm actually mad. Let me.
At me, mocking my attempts to understand it, and I tried to fight back.
There is no understanding.
My insecurity through inept social media posts. It did nothing. You can still watch that original.
This started as an Archie comic,
but it's mean.
This was an Archie comic parody, bro. It was an Archie comic parody. What happened to that? Where in the fuck are they fighting like mechanized bug people, mechanized Ant-Man? That shit look like something from Doctor Who. None of these niggas look like the Doctor. Jughead is not that smart. He's smart against the group, but not that smart.
Document mapping the ever-escalating staircase of lunacy.
What the fuck was that?
Would eventually collapse in Riverdale's inevitable implosion, and in doing so, asking, what is this show, and what about it keeps dragging me back to this town?
I don't know, bro, because it fell off for me.
Is a segment comparing plotlines from season 1 to those of season 3. This is to demonstrate
what the fuck was that?
Principle Riverdale is built upon: escalation. Season 1, Archie can't decide between Betty and Veronica.
Some basic
Season
shit.
3, after escaping a prison where he was forced to compete in an underground fighting tournament, Archie is mauled by a bear before spending the night with ghosts.
That's just season 3. They're like, what, 7 seasons of this show? I don't know. Season 4 is where I stopped. I'll be honest with you. Season 4 is where I stopped. I couldn't do it. As soon as they grew up, it fell off for me. As soon as they grew up, because it was like they truly did not know what else to do with them. Their lives were already over, but they were like, but then the show continues, and we gotta add more bullshit. Riverdale shit is already solved. All the problems are done. What are you still writing for? Put the pencil down, nigga.
Season 1, Jughead.
Matter of fact, erase some of that shit.
Joins the school newspaper.
Come on.
Season 3, Jughead encounters a haunted Dungeons and Dragons game that mind controls people into drinking poison. Season 1, Cheryl is sad over her brother's passing. Season 3, Cheryl is kidnapped by a group of evil subterranean nuns called the Sisters of Quiet Mercy.
She also becomes a witch, by the way, which she's probably gonna... That's crazy, bro. Cheryl Teagues becomes a fucking witch. At some point, an actual Wiccan witch can cast spells type shit. Like, actually can control the trees and shit. How? Why? I don't know.
Season 1, Betty's mom is mean. Season 3, Betty's dad is a serial killer. Season 1, Betty
that was
likes
actually
Archie,
a pretty good plot
know
twist.
if he likes her. Season 3, Betty's brother is also a serial killer. Season 1, Betty throws Jughead a party. Season 3, Betty's long-lost half-brother is in the FBI and hunts serial killers. And is also a serial killer. Season 1 villain, Chuck, the mean jock. Season 3 villain, the Gargoyle King. Season 1 storyline, the gang learn to accept that their sleepy little town might not be so peaceful after all. Season 3 storyline, the gang learn to accept
he's going through it and just showing the chaotic escalation of it, like, season by season. Well, the funny thing is he's stopping because we're going to season 3. Like I told y'all, I fell off at 4. Oh my God.
Except that everyone they have ever known and loved has been indoctrinated into an organ harvesting cult that was rapture bombed out of existence only to reappear again, its leader now piloting a rocket ship.
What?
Oh, this show. If you haven't seen Riverdale or my previous video on it, that has probably left you with several questions like, what is happening? Are you lying? And do you actually...
I can confirm this. He is not lying. I can confirm this. Everything he said actually happened.
Like this? And the answer to that last one is yeah. You might not think it from the mass online ridicule, but Riverdale is one of the biggest teen dramas of all time. Its cast have a combined 100 million followers on Instagram, and what I can only describe as Riverdale fan AMVs can rack up views in the tens of millions.
She's so bad, bro. It make no fucking sense.
Past 10 episodes.
Let me tell you something, bro. Veronica is bad. Cheryl blows Veronica out the water. Yeah, I'm talking about her right here, this right here, bad. That right there, perfect 10.
Episode seasons,
that right there will give me the set.
Riverdale is an anomaly.
That right there is dangerous.
7-episode behemoth averaging 20 episodes per
I'm gonna
season.
sip some water.
So
Y'all got some water?
First step into the garden of madness that will end in Riverdale's inevitable downfall. We must first ask, what is the appeal of this show? There's a scene I bring up.
Not gonna lie, a lot of it after a while is really just sex appeal. Like I kid you not. Once Riverdale cracked the idea of like, oh, Cheryl's sexy and they understand that, bro, Cheryl got so much more screen time. I hope the actress had to agree to it, but I mean, I hope it was like, yes, I 100% agree, and it's not like a forceful agree. I hope that didn't.
Anytime I want to convey the appeal of Riverdale, it is this.
Mr. Chipping? I'm sorry, Jughead. I couldn't help you.
Mr. Chipping! This is not an unusual occurrence in Riverdale. The
No.
episodes often contain multiple moments like this, and it creates this manic pace and nearly giddy, fever dream-like feel. And what's cool is how the rest of production is designed to enhance that surreal quality. Everything about Riverdale looks just a little strange, from the neon lighting that coats its characters in ethereal blues or glowing crimsons, to how the sets of Riverdale refuse to pin themselves to
I never
any
really
single
noticed
time
that.
period. Characters
I never really noticed that. Understandable. Like it's a surreal show in itself. It kind of has like a Stranger Things feel. Like even now, like you can tell this guy could pass for our time. Why the fuck are they in a jalopy?
will drive old-timey cars, type on retro computers, and watch VHS tapes on vacuum-tubed televisions, but also pull out iPhones and search the internet. And I kind of love this. It gives Riverdale as a location this ethereal town outside of time atmosphere. And part of the reason I'm sure that's intentional is how well considered the rest of production is. Like, take this shot of Betty and Jughead walking into a prison. The camera moving past the first monitor, letting us know immediately that we are in a prison, a second monitor setting up the fact that Jughead and Betty have just arrived, before its camera move ends in a composition that perfectly frames the three characters, to the point that even the officer's reflection is clearly visible. Making a scene flow like this takes an immense amount of experience, skill, timing, and likely retakes. But not only does it make the show constantly engaging to look at, it means visually Riverdale can kind of be whatever it wants. When it's pretending to be a slasher movie, it looks like a slasher movie. Same when it's a musical or gritty crime drama or 1970s neo-noir. That versatility only adding to the show's
Man, I miss all
appeal,
Riverdale.
and adding even further is its cast. Just as Riverdale's production must often pivot to the show's many bizarre plot turns,
Bro, I can't even say what happened to Riverdale is the same thing that what people say happened to Supernatural. Because I watched both shows. I actually watched Supernatural start to finish. Wonderful show. Actually about to rewatch it. Riverdale, I think it was the exact things that he's saying, like people got burned out on. That's why they stopped watching. At least it was like that for me. Like the constant, first off, you have to suspend some type of disbelief, because if you put some thought into like the sequence of events, you would kind of think about it and be like, wait a minute. If her brother is the killer, but she was the one with the knife, wouldn't that still make like her still, how would he even be able to stab her daddy? That would imply that he got another knife and just, which is possible, but then why the fuck are we like using this knife as evidence if he got another knife? Some real Death Note shit, like why is this knife relevant if there's another knife in place? How do we know that he's the killer based off this knife if she has it? And some shit like that would happen in Riverdale.
The story formula for Riverdale is simple. Take a group of teenagers whose faces resemble the baby animals from Bambi and force them through meat grinders of emotional trauma. Veronica is the rich girl who is locked in a show-spanning dance of vaguely incestuous death with her evil billionaire father. Betty is the all-American girl next
Vaguely what?
door who cannot stop encountering serial killers. Jughead dies on at least 4 separate occasions, but the show's
real shit. Like, niggas, Jughead and Krillin can really sit down in a bar and have a talk.
favorite punching bag of emotional trauma is Archie Andrews, who will frequently endure things like being cattle branded, mauled by a bear, set on fire, and having a mountain dropped on him.
I'm not even gonna joke with you. Band for band with me. Archie Andrews, Captain America. I got Archie. I got Archie. I seen Cap go through some crazy shit. I got Archie. But Noodle, you don't even know what World War II was like. I got Archie.
Him. And those are just the things we covered last video, so hopefully now
that's how crazy this show gets. I got Archie.
Right. Oh Archie, you haven't even been in a war yet. Without a strong cast, that formula of endearing teenagers versus emotional trauma,
that's crazy.
Work.
Now that you say that, they actually would
recast between seasons 1 and 2. The cast are all pretty great at conveying whatever the script is going for, which is occasionally absolute fucking insanity.
For I am Cheryl Blossom, queen of the bees.
Girl, you lucky you fucking bad. You lucky you bad as fuck. You lucky you bad as fuck. You lucky you bad as fuck. I'm coming for you. You lucky you bad as fuck.
I particularly love Madeline Pesch's performance
Look at you.
as Cheryl, who steals basically any moment she's in through a combination of utterly fantastic outfits and the most withering dialogue delivery that just cuts through any character unfortunate enough to share a scene with her.
That's a little barbaric.
No, you sad, simple she-child.
God damn. Got her ass. Got her ass. Got her ass out of her. I'm saying, bro, she fucking annihilated you.
The main cast, even relatively small roles are given to character actors who take every line they're handed and elevate it in a way that is so ludicrously entertaining. I cannot tell you how excited I get whenever Nana Rose, played by Barbara Wallace, opens her mouth.
We must perform a banishment.
Fuck is that?
The delight I feel at every one of Dr. Curdle Jr.'s lines. Nikolai West,
that's what got rid of her first eye, the banishment.
I believe the ghoulies turned their guns on themselves.
That's kind of Riverdale, a show with manic pacing, a great production, and lunatic levels of trauma conveyed by a fantastic cast. And when you combine all that with the escalation we talked about earlier, you get a show that is, on occasion, homicidally entertaining, and particularly when we hit the multi-cult organ harvesting Dungeons and Dragons playing monster murder kingdom of madness and lunacy that is season 3.
He's not wrong.
I just want to restate here, there is a subspecies of human that considers season 1 the peak and season 3 the fall off, and I need you to know I would never be friends with you. But season 3 is also kind of the poison pill in Riverdale's life.
He's not wrong. Season 3 actually was really good. Honestly, but like I said, for me it was season 4. Season 3 was really good. Season 4 was what fucked it all up.
Long-term storytelling, because in a show that is so
hopefully he gets over it. If he doesn't, I got you.
Possibly escalate from here, and that's a problem you can feel immediately in season 4.
What I tell you. Hey, go get this bros merch. What I tell you. Me, hey, we're locked in. Super eye patch will dap me up, my boy. I know this is a roasting hand, but like it could be a friendly hand. My eyes are on fire, but they're on fire with the passion of love that's burning for you right now.
Is sponsored by Angel Burger, where we'll be releasing our special spooky burger t-shirt. And oh my god, that's me!
That's tight. That's tight. That's tight.
Little demon. Available now at all Angel Burger locations. Or Yes, you could pick it up at eyepatchwolves.com. Anyway, back to your
Go cop that. Go cop that. I didn't skip simply because we talked about the same thing, bro. I respect the
Making their
grind.
second YouTube video on a show clearly aimed at teenagers. Something feels a little off about season 4. The main plot centers around Jughead attending Stonewall Prep and feuding with a group of slightly murdery boarding school students who serve as this season's villains. And
Like, explain to me, why the fuck do they murder anybody? Y'all off top. You're probably thinking in your head, well, maybe they're troubled teens and like he was sent to a school for troubled teens. Let him talk.
compared to past villains like evil child-mauling billionaire Hiram Lodge, organ-harvesting rocket ship pilot Edgar Evernever, or real-life monster the Gargoyle King, the Stonewall Prep kids just feel a little bland, and that is a problem. In order for Riverdale to reach the lunatic heights it does, it needs a strong villain to operate the meat grinder of emotional trauma that our teenage heroes are constantly forced through, and without one, what you have is the first season of Riverdale that doesn't feel like a dramatic escalation on previous seasons. There are other problems with season 4, which you really can't blame the show
Which
for, like
caused
the
them
genuinely
to
tragic
up it
and
too
unexpected
hard,
passing of Luke Perry,
'cause the
who played
viewership was
Fred
down.
Andrews, Archie's dad, or COVID-19 breaking up production in a weird way, meaning that in a 19-episode season, the narrative climax resolves in episode 16. And by narrative climax, I do of course mean the second time a member of school staff hurls themselves out a window.
To the end.
Do that shit. Yes,
Get 3
baby.
episodes where everything
We don't condone that on this channel. Like, if you really need some help, go get some help, for real.
is just kind of all right, and as
But that, in the fictional context, was fucking hilarious.
we reach the season's end, it's hard not to feel like the show is running out of narrative train track. However, this is when Riverdale plays its trump card. If there's one thing Riverdale is goddamn incredible at, it's ending seasons with big dramatic cliffhangers. Archie's dad being shot at the end of season 1, Archie being arrested for murder at the end of season 2, the naked Jughead devouring orgy at the end of season 3,
Continue.
and season 4. The highlight of season 4, aside from Cheryl's dead puppet brother or the 2 separate instances of auto-defenestration, are these strange videotapes that the residents of Riverdale have been receiving. Initially just footage of their homes, but soon these tapes take a more sinister turn, showing people wearing ghoulish masks recreating the darkest moments of Riverdale. Having experienced 12 serial killers up until this point, Jughead ignores the tapes and goes about his life as per usual, such as applying to college with an essay in which him and all his friends tie their principal, Mr. Honey, to a chair and murder him, which is a totally normal thing.
The funny thing is, he is not wrong. Even during this episode, I was like, Jughead, what the fuck is this? I thought Jughead was gonna be a killer for real.
To write about,
After this.
let alone apply to college with. However, in the final episode, Jughead discovers another videotape, but this one is different. On it is a group of people carrying knives, wearing ghoulish masks.
So now that it can be tied to them and actually Mr. Honey died, now it's a whole thing. Yeah, okay. Now we gotta stick our noses in it and find it.
That resemble Jughead, Betty, Veronica, Archie, Cheryl, and Reggie,
I found it so weird that they actually just have masks of themselves.
who surround a man tied to a chair with a sign around his neck that reads,
That would imply that they're all celebrities
Mr. Honey,
inside the town too.
before the group of people
they recognize
descend on
themselves.
him, their knives sliding in and out of his body. It's such a good moment, so uniquely visually horrifying, with terrifying implications on the story going forward from here. Who are these people? How did they know the contents of Jughead's essay? And what does this mean for the future of Riverdale? This is more or less where we left off.
Oh
in
yeah,
that
they're
first
doing
video.
construction
And
next
for all
door,
Season
so
4's
sorry if it kind of
troubles,
slips in the
This
audio.
seems like a fantastic
Yeah,
platform
yeah, I'm
from
not
which
gonna
to
go.
nose.
Sorry, Super Eye Patch. Mr. Wolf, can I call you Mr. Wolf? Anyway. Yeah, sorry about the construction noises. They're doing construction next door. I don't know what you want me to do. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Dive into season 5.
You want money?
Or at least
I've had that.
that's how it seemed. For as
I need that
impactful as
from
the
you.
videotape cliffhanger was,
Not
it
not
actually
really.
gets resolved only 2 episodes into season 5 when it's revealed that the one responsible for all these horrific murders was Jughead's little sister. And also, no one was actually murdered. It was just a bunch of kids funning.
No one's gonna watch this crap again.
If you feel disappointed, I would ask you to imagine what it was like
Yeah.
to wait 259 days for that reveal, and then realize that the show is not the problem. You are the problem. You're the one who keeps watching it, keeps praying.
No. Mr. Eye Patch, Mr. Wolf, hell the fuck nah. I am not the problem. This show is the problem. Because this show has the fucking gall, the audacity of this bitch ass of a motherfucking show to waste my time after getting me invested. I am not the problem.
Praying that some
What the
big
fuck was that?
revelation that's never coming will
Come on.
make it all make sense, allowing you to believe
You make it make sense.
that this show really was about something and not just a fleeting diversion, a way to temporarily distract yourself from the galactic void inside you that gapes deeper and wider with each passing day as your hands wither
How the fuck you knew I was going through depression? Shut up.
and begin to move by themselves.
Not even gonna hold you. You ever just like find, you ever just be sad one day and you just gotta go like, man, I don't really feel like getting out of bed. Let's find something on Netflix. That's really how I found Riverdale. I'm not even gonna hold you. What he said was completely accurate.
And your reflection looks more and more like a person you used to know. My point
Okay,
is
not
that
all
the
that. That's
Jelly
too
Bean
far.
reveal, that's her name, is a catastrophic failure in storytelling. And so now we have to ask, what is wrong with this show? Well, Riverdale has a very specific kind of writing that I've seen somewhere before.
The problem with Riverdale is like it's constant escalation. And once it gets, and the thing about it is Dragon Ball rules. Once you get to a certain escalation level, I don't think you can go higher without breaking your show entirely. Riverdale, unfortunately, like Dragon Ball, can't just break its show. It's extremely hard to break the core concept of your show or introduce something that would allow you to break the core concepts, i.e., basically these niggas fighting ant monsters somehow because they got superpowers from a radioactive rock. Kryptonite, call it whatever the fuck you want it. But, yeah.
Specifically, early 2000s WCW. No, stop booing.
Early 2000s WCW wrestling. You know what? Hold on. Let him cook. Because, bro, why the fuck was Vince McMahon fighting God in the ring for real, for real? I shit you not. They actually had a wrestling match between Vince McMahon and God.
I have to talk about wrestling. This is important. Early 2000s WCW has one big trick: the swerve. The idea that something unexpected happens where logic or narrative progression take a back seat to just giving the audience something fucking crazy to react to. And the company had seen great success with this, such as Hulk Hogan making an entire arena collectively shit itself by joining the evil NWO, which was good. However, from here, the company would become more and more reliant on swerves. One of the most difficult parts of storytelling is balancing a plot so that you have enough exciting things happening in the present, as well as laying the narrative groundwork to seed future storylines later on. But swerves let us temporarily circumvent that balance. Cause if you just have wild out of nowhere shit happening all the time, the audience will be so entranced by the madness that they never have a chance to get bored or ask, where is all this going? At least that is until multiple poorly thought out story decisions collapse in on themselves, resulting in narrative disasters like the finger poke of doom.
Honestly, yeah, that's actually no. This is way better than what I was going to say.
Which, trust me, I could explain. It will not make more sense. I fear only wrestling fans will truly understand the devastation of this next statement. But this era of Riverdale is like early 2000s WCW. The show has now become so swerve addicted, it's penchant for big dramatic moments compounding in such an insane way. Like seriously, just listen to the actors try and cram all the insane shit that's happened up until this point into casual dialogue.
And not just our ancestral mansion, Thornhill, which I burned down in my youth.
Archie's house blew up.
I've spoken to Hiram Lodge. He's promised to take proper care of me in his private jail.
When I said
those are 3 whole season plot points they just spit like it was nothing.
you and Archie were doing more than just pretending to date when Jughead was dead?
I know I
That's
bailed
4.
on you. After that horrible night when my dad dressed as the Gargoyle King tried to scare us while we were
Having sex for the first time.
The show
5.
was manic pace and constant
Did you listen to anything they just said? That shit was insane.
escalation, meaning we have burnt through our narrative train track while never spending the time to seed those future storylines. Meaning now, there is no way to write a satisfying conclusion to this storyline. Short of introducing an entirely new cast of characters, building them up over the following season, only to then very obviously reveal it was them, which would be bad, there is nothing you can do. So, you make it Jellybean and write it off in 2 episodes, because this was never a story. It was a moment, a swerve designed for the audience to react to.
Honestly, I disagree with the idea of they have become swerve addicted. But honestly, if they just let these storylines play out, that would actually be tight. Like, the idea of Jellybean actually being the serial killer would be tight. Why the fuck did she do all that would be the question in your head, and they'd be like, well, maybe she just got that gene. And then it's not like, it's one of those things. And that would also draw Jughead and Betty closer. There's ways you can write around this if they just commit to it. But I feel like they're throwing in so many swerves that they're not even caring about the validity of it, since there's going to be like circumvented anyway. For example, it's like, who the fuck cares if Goku just showed up in Riverdale and he wants to fight Archie in a blood match, if Hiram Lodge is gonna just come back to life and shoot Goku in the face? Why the fuck can Hiram Lodge just shoot Goku of all people in the face? Well, because he has a kryptonite sword embedded in his stomach. Why does he have a kryptonite sword embedded into his stomach? Because that's where Archie placed it when he killed Hiram in like season 67. And that's how Riverdale operates. It's crazy.
And pull them back.
They don't commit to a single story.
In conclusion, it's not that the writers dropped the ball, it's that the ball was made of petrol and dynamite. So now we're left with an entirely more existential.
That's actually perfectly fine for the ball to be made of petrol and dynamite. It's fine for the ball to explode. It's not fine for the ball to, like, me to drop the ball thinking it's exploding, and then it's like, oops, the ball just froze with liquid nitrogen on impact, does not explode at all. And that's supposed to be like, but there's no kaboom, there's no like ending at all. What kind of ending is this? An ending. That's not good. An ending is not a good ending.
Is Riverdale. With all plot threads used up, how do you now restart the story in a way that's meaningful and creates new narrative avenues for every single character? Although, you know, Jughead does have this one line.
Unless a meteorite strikes this town in 2 days, we'll have survived graduation.
Okay, no, actually, no, that's too silly. They would never do that. I'm sorry I brought it up. Anyway, as for the problem of what to do now, well, believe it or not, the creators did actually find an answer.
Oldest trick in the book, baby. Let's do it.
Season 5, Episode 4. Time code 0 minutes and 4 seconds. Archie gives an impassioned speech to his fellow football players before they charge onto a field where bullets slice past them. Archie, now holding a rifle and in army fatigues, watches as his teammates are obliterated around him, all while he's cheered on by his friends and family, before Hiram Lodge appears and places a bullet between Archie's eyes. Archie awakens in a hospital bed. He has just fought in a war. Which war? Doesn't matter. Don't ask questions.
war.
Honorably discharged, Archie must...
Who the fuck was fighting during this time? Doesn't matter. Archie fought in a war. You know what happens in wars. They get shot, right? People start shooting guns, being blam, blam, blah. People die. So that means that Archie just didn't die. He just got, he got shot, but like it wasn't fatal. So like he got to get out. But like, I would really like to see what just happened. You did see it. He just ran on the field, right? That's not the same. Doesn't matter. They could have told an entire story with Archie going to war, but they were like, no, let's get past it.
Must now return home to Riverdale, a place
How the fuck did Archie join a war? What was going on?
For 7 years. Archie returns to a Riverdale changed, a town whose streets now swarm with rabid dogs, its buildings constantly ablaze, and all Archie's friends gone. In the 7 years since we last saw these characters, Veronica has married arrogant finance boy Chadwick, who she will absolutely not divorce in 2 episodes. Jughead has moved to New York, where he does what all irritating men threaten to. He writes a book. Cheryl has sequestered herself in Thornhill Manor and found success in the lucrative world of furry commissions. And Betty is now in the FBI, having recently been captured by and escaped from Riverdale's 13th serial killer. I am aware that people think I am joking when I talk about how many serial killers are in Riverdale.
So fucking many. He's not joking at all. Like, the statistic likelihood of a person near you being a serial killer in Riverdale is like 1 in 10. 1 in 10 people in Riverdale are at least a serial killer, or have thought about killing another person and just maybe not have acted on it.
So please, allow me a
Specifically
short
Riverdale.
sidebar to list them all. How many do you think there are? The Black Hood, the Janitor, Hiram Lodge, Cheryl Blossom, Penelope Blossom, Betty's secret brother.
Basically the entire Blossom bloodline, except for like Cheryl's brother that we know of. But that man might have a body on his fucking name. We don't know.
Chick, Tall Boy, the Gargoyle King, Edgar Evernever, Evelyn Evernever, Stonewall Prep students, Evil Principal Francis DuPont, Trevor the Hospital Orderly, the Lost Highway Killer, Old Man Dreyfus, Evil FBI Brother, that assassin Veronica slept with, the Trash Bag Killer, Shadow Archie Andrews, figure of...
Shadow Archie Andrews? If you don't just count Archie as a killer.
Popular Mexican folklore, La Lorena, Percival Pickens, the Milkman. This list encompasses only characters who kill out of some predetermined...
You're like, well, those are over multiple years. Nigga, those are over like the course of fucking... I'm going to, because it starts, so about 11 years. Because it's 7 years in a time skip. Then you also have their entirety of their high school years. But they didn't start as freshmen. They started as sophomore. Okay, so 9 years. About 9 years. 9 years, 22 serial killers? Killers! Multiple killings. Multiple killings to a person. Killers!
And malice, and not
that's crazy. 9 years for 22
who have body
22
counts for
was like, bro,
justified
I
reasons,
out today.
like Archie or Veronica. Though I guess that depends if you count unintentional sex venom as plot justified. Look, we'll get there. The time skip solves several...
I guess that's sex venom. 19 inches of venom, for real?
several of Riverdale's long-term problems. For one, it's a clever solution for the issue that there was no story left to tell. Well, clever in the way that flipping a chessboard is clever. But it does mean that the characters can now explore more adult issues while also providing 7 brand new...
Oh yeah, by the way, instead of Archie being like, Archie is the trauma bag, but they basically turned Jughead into Peter Parker.
Years of backstory that the writers can draw on to propel those narratives forward, like Jughead becoming an alcoholic after drowning in a giant pile of rats. Am I lying? You don't know. You may never know. It also eliminates the slightly embarrassing problem that by season 5, most of the cast were in their late 20s and 30s playing teenagers.
Yeah.
This high schooler is 37 years old, and now that's no longer a problem, and surely it never will be again. However, the time skip also fundamentally alters what Riverdale is. This is now no longer a show about teenagers enduring trauma, even more ludicrous than that time a stripper asked me, "Are you super eye patch wolf?" Instead, we now have a soldier, a millionaire, an FBI agent, and a sadder Jughead facing those same threats. But they've all been through so much at this point, so that when one of the several new serial killers emerge, their reaction is just, "Oh, here we go again!" To counterbalance this, the show would need to introduce a new kind of threat, which is why it's disappointing that the season villain is once again Hiram Lodge, who's been...
I don't think that's disappointing. I will disagree, because Hiram Lodge has been one of those ones where it's like, they defeat his plan, but they don't defeat him. So he's one of those kind of constant, either Hiram Lodge himself goes, which nobody really is going to be willing to kill him, or, you know, like he gets destitute, which, yeah.
Been here since season 2, which, don't get me wrong,
My nigga's Mr.
love
Moneybags.
Hiram. This is a man who hangs a painting of himself above his desk and cured his own cancer by beating the shit out of people. And the episode covering his back...
He did. He had cancer. He just Batman that shit out of his system. I've never seen some shit like that. He just genuinely was like, "I'm feeling weak. I got cancer." No. It wasn't like, I don't think it was actual cancer. I think actually, from what I remember in the show, he was just sick. And like basically like basic body shutting down. He didn't feel as spry as he used to. His like max bench press that he does every day was going down. He was just not feeling like himself. And then he went out, beat ass, and then got all of it back, including the sex drive.
Story is...
Brother wasn't even hitting it right with his wife. His wife is a fucking certified baddie. Where do you think Veronica got them genes from?
genuinely well written. Like, seriously, I don't even have anything to make fun of here. It's just good television. Okay, look, Hiram Lodge does play his own dad wearing a fake mustache, and that's just very, very funny. But with the same villain, we also just get the same storylines. Hiram continues his, at this point, utterly psychotic vendetta against Archie in the town of Riverdale.
Truth be told, that's all right too. Like, as long as it's not the very same storylines, that's fine. And it's never really the same storylines until a certain point. It's just, you know, Hiram's gonna have a plan, depending on how you just don't know what's going on, and the plan itself is why you're invested. And Hiram executing it and or getting foiled is why you're invested. It's never really like you're invested to see the exact same thing play out every time. Like, if you know the hero is gonna stop the villain, but the story does a good job of making you still feel like the hero is in peril. That's just good writing, and I think Riverdale does that really good.
And in a plot more
Really
contrived than me explaining, no, I'm not into clown girls. We just sell a lot of those t-shirts. Every major character becomes a teacher in Riverdale High, meaning even post time skip, the show is still kind of a teen drama. The repetition continues.
Don't see how,
Betty is stalked by yet another serial killer. Veronica continues her vaguely incestuous business rivalry with her father, and Archie must...
I was in incestuous. I'm still trying to figure out my head around that, bro. What are you talking about? How is it incestuous?
Once again,
not too much on my
some horrific trauma, but at least he does get therapy this time, meaning by the end of the season, everything's gonna be all right. Oh, Archie, You haven't even been dragged into an alternate reality where you will be sacrificed to the old gods. Your still beating heart ripped from your struggling body and presented to your friends and family as they dance and howl with ecstatic glee. Okay, I made that up. Or did I?
Did he? We already know there's a nigga Archie out there. You saw alt art Archie on the serial killer list. So
Rather than using the time skip to escalate Riverdale into something new in the same way that seasons 1
I
to
don't
3
know about
did,
that. He might.
Riverdale season 5 feels like
I don't
it
got insight
lacks
like that.
confidence, choosing instead
Like I said,
to
season
imitate
4.
a version of what this show used to
I
be,
knew about this season.
rather than taking a proper step forward. And in the final few episodes, you can feel Riverdale grapple with the same existential problems that plagued season 4, haunted by the question, what now is this show? And that's a struggle you could see reflected in its ratings. Despite retaining the same Wednesday at 8 p.m. time slots in season 2, by the end of season 5, Riverdale was hemorrhaging viewers, with estimates seeing its viewership fall from 2.3 million at the beginning of season 2 to just 360,000 at the end of season 5.
There's nothing I could do.
Which a certain amount you could attribute to people watching it on Netflix. Netflix subscriptions had more than doubled between 2016 and 2021, but it doesn't really account for the show bleeding nearly 85% of its audience in that time, with season 6 now being bumped to the inferior time slot of Tuesday at 9 p.m, meaning Riverdale was now a TV show on wobbling legs. With cancellation looming, the show needed to do something big, and man, if only there was something here in season 5, some bizarre storyline that could serve as a strange guiding light dictating the future of Riverdale. Oh, that's right. The mechanical ant people. Not long after the time skip, Jughead encounters the legend of the Riverdale Mothman, a dangerous creature that stalks the forests surrounding the town. Jughead begins to investigate the legend, but as he does, he becomes plagued by strange power outages, monitored from the skies by massive flying machines, and stalked by alien-like moth people. You're watching this and it's like, there's no way Riverdale's actually doing this, right? Like it's always flirted with the supernatural, but it always explains it away. For example, Cheryl's haunted doll brother was actually just being moved around by her secret mother who lives in her walls. But the further this plot races forward, the more those logical explanations begin to fade into the rear view, with Pops encountering the same spacecraft in the 70s and Archie seeing one of the creatures in the mines below Riverdale. But perhaps
I'm sorry, y'all. Bro, they are tearing the fuck up out there, bro. They're destroying infrastructure out there. Call the cops.
most definitively, Nana Rose having one of the creature's skeletons preserved in a vat of maple syrup. Undeniable.
Why would you put it in a maple syrup?
Proof that aliens exist in Riverdale. Wow, you know, it sure would be frustrating if this was another swerve and the actual explanation didn't make any goddamn sense at all. Anyway, let's keep reading this script I wrote. Later, it's revealed that the alien moth people were actually just a family of misshapen serial killers.
What the fuck is with this show and serial killers, bro? What actually is with this show and serial killers? Ooh, spooky. It's a serial killer. It's just weird serial killer. Now we got variant serial killers. Nigga, can we just... I don't even give a fuck at this point. Can we commit to the aliens? For real. Can we just commit to the fucking aliens?
Oh, Riverdale, I swear to fucking Christ. The illegitimate sons of Cheryl's grandfather, who were discarded in the woods before growing up to form an evil murder cult. The reason they look like this being that, this is what Riverdale thinks children born out of wedlock look like. As for why Archie and Jughead saw the same alien or the two separate sightings of the spacecraft, well, there's actually a really clever explanation for that. The storyline culminates in our heroes storming the Mothman murder compound, where they encounter what can only be described as a swarm of mechanical ant people, and this was
what the
I sat there watching the scene,
What the fuck is this?
trembling.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is this show, bro? I'm so sick and tired of this bullshit. Why don't they commit to anything? They're not even going to commit to this. This is just going to be some niggas in some suits, some Iron Man cosplay ass shit. Why the fuck are they in the woods LARPing about? Why the fuck are they killing people? Why are they just going to be serial killers? This is going to be some serial killers around. I'm tired of just serial killers just being fucking variants. What?
As the nucleus for this video lurched out of some primordial grey matter inside me. For as horrified as I was to
There was an article I read where these niggas were getting superpowers, and I no.
watch everything I had attempted to do with that first video
No.
invalidated, I had to admit there was something beautiful here too. So often, society dictates to us the
What are you
principality.
talking about? Hey, Musty Eye Patch Wolf. Hey, that's your new name, Musty Eye Patch Wolf. What are you talking about, Musty Eye Patch? Stop doing that, Musty Eye Patch. Musty Eye Patch Wolf.
Of what is numbers, law, science, logic. It presses these pieces of conceptual clay into our palms and watches as we hew them into jagged rods, each one.
You were just a nigga spitting soliloquies and all types of like heavenly words in my ear trying to get me to side with you. And I don't agree. So what are you talking about, Musty Eye Patch? Talk to me in niggaese. Talk to me in some language I can understand. Tell me it's good. Look at this and tell me with your own eyes that this is art. This is good. This is a good series. I can't even joke with you. I know you're joking, but I can't joke.
Perceptual cage that we trap ourselves in, a barrier between us and
Please
the
tell me you're joking.
single universal truth.
Please.
We are the curators.
I can't even
of
joke
what
with you,
we
bro.
perceive. We
I
are the
can't get with this
arbiters
fucking
of
joke.
our
I can't
own
jock it.
reality, and
Please tell me you're joking.
just imagine what the world could be if we all recognize that.
I'm imagining it, and the world I just envisioned was Pompeii and ruined. So what are you talking about, Super Eye Patch Wolf? What are we talking about?
If we could all shatter those conceptual bindings,
Yeah, it'd just be like the buildings in Pompeii. What are we talking about?
if we could all create our own personal teen drama,
That nigga looked like a deformed Power Ranger. What are we talking about?
invaded by mechanical ant.
Nigga look like he has to move his extension cord from his backside, plug it into the wall to actually get power to that suit. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
People. I can't lie. I was enraptured, but I knew I was watching the furthest reaches of Riverdale's lunacy, because surely nothing could go beyond this.
I don't know anything about this one, and I'm so fucking pissed and scared. And please, someone, please help me.
Archie is awoken by the sound of a strange, distant explosion. He tries to forget about it, but everywhere he looks, something feels
Maybe I did see season 6.
A butchered deer corpse is discovered in the woods. Jughead is haunted by insects. Cheryl
I did see
has
this.
started a cult, and something is stalking the outskirts of the town. But he can't worry about that now, for it is time for
What the fuck did I stop
town
watching? Was it
Harvest
season 6?
Festival. But why are people looking at him? What's the meaning behind the ominous things they say, and why does Jughead choose now to tell Archie?
You're like a brother to me. I love you. You know that, right?
That night, Archie can't stop coming. Let me just turn the page here to the conclusion that something is wrong, which is when he receives a panicked phone call from Kevin. Betty has been kidnapped by Cheryl's cult. Under a blood-red moon, Archie races to Thornhill Manor, where he finds everyone he has ever known dressed in odd clothing, saying things he doesn't understand before he's knocked unconscious. Archie
Wow.
is tied to an altar, and with
I
a
don't
wooden
remember
crown
any of-
atop his head.
What the fuck? When did I watch? See, that's what the show does, and I'm so pissed about it, bro. Why does show do this to me? My mental is fucking scrambled. It's scrambled eggs up here. Why? I can't even remember where I watched this. There's so many fucking crazy things that happened in the show. I forgot where I stopped. I thought I stopped at 4. No, but it turns out I didn't stop at 4. I watched the entirety of 4 and 5. I don't remember watching 6. Well, I remember watching some of 6, but I guess they took the break like halfway through 6 on some like Invincible shit, if I remember correctly. I don't know. Please fact check me. Where's give me my time back? Give me my time back. I need it.
A dagger is pushed deep into his chest. His bloody
Why?
heart ripped from his struggling body and presented pumping and pulsating
What
to his
is
friends
this?
and family, who all dance and howl in ecstatic glee.
Anyway, that's episode 1. What's that? Why am I wearing this jacket? Why, because it's me, Andrew Page-Turn, the plot... scientist?
I don't
And
think
I'm
they're
here
real
to help
scientists.
you unravel what the fuck that was. And
Absolute
to do
shit.
so,
That's what it was.
I have constructed
Absolute
this
dog
handy
shit.
chart. Jesus, okay.
You, sir, have presented me a flaming pile of dog shit and used it as a storyboard to write that episode. That is what that was.
See, Season 6 of Riverdale starts with a lot of the same problems as Season 4 and 5. A lack of escalation combined with a more capable cast, and now the complete lack of a villain. Now that, oh Jesus, now that, oh fucking God. And now with Hiram Lodge's banishment, we'll get to that later, there's no longer a villain to even really
I do remember that.
manage the
They banished
misery
that nigga.
carousel that is Riverdale.
No lie.
Which means everyone's now just kind of happy. And so if the show wants to avoid boredom, which you can see here by this sad child, it needs a new villain. And its solution was Percival Pickens.
Early rising Riverdalians opened their morning newspaper to find an article titled Riverdale, the worst town in America, which makes Archie so angry that he, and this is real, calls a town meeting so that he can fight the article's anonymous author, who is revealed to be newly arrived Riverdale resident Percival Pickens. Percival tells people that he only wrote the article because he knows Riverdale can be better and that he
Facts.
can make it that way. And even this early on, Percival is a delight. His actor, Chris O'Shea, drenches every line of dialogue in this wry British insincerity, contrasting beautifully against Archie's earnest, slightly moronic existence. Archie, unable to grasp who this strange British gentleman is, or what he wants. The fact that Percival's great-grandfather may have genocided the native people of Riverdale, not being, well, hey, a good start. Percival begins to creep his tendrils throughout Riverdale, infiltrating first its town council, then its law enforcement, and then becoming its mayor, as slowly his evil plan crawls into focus, as he begins to turn the town against itself by doing maniacally unhinged things like closing down Pop's Diner or being nice to Kevin, all while Archie and his friends wonder who this man is and why he is doing this.
Which brings us to our next segment. What do you think happens next? Hello, it's
I
me
think
again.
Percival dies.
Because I guess I'm also a
Either Percival dies or he's a serial killer and he dies.
game show host or something. Here to ask you, who do you think
Those are the two. I'm taking those. Percival either just dies or before he dies, he's a serial killer and then he dies.
Percival Pickens is? Is he A, Archie's evil half-brother, abandoned at birth and consigned to the worst fate imaginable, an English upbringing? Or is he B, Hiram Lodge's secret lover, who, mad with vengeance and fury after Veronica had her father assassinated... Look, We don't have time to get into every little detail. Or is
Yeah.
he a wizard? Which do you think it is?
Percival works as a villain because he fulfills the very important role within Riverdale of emotional
genuinely don't know.
grinder pilot that's arguably been missing since season 3. And as the season goes on, his evil only grows more unhinged, like building a monument to his genocidal grandfather or making the unhoused population of Riverdale disappear, which are surely both things that would never happen in real life. And so Archie is left with no choice but to fight Percival, marking the second time in Riverdale that Archie fights an evil billionaire in a boxing match for the soul of the town. However, despite the fact that Percival's mind control doesn't work on Archie, he stuffs his gloves with palladium, which is the only known counter to Archie's invulnerability superpower.
Oh, I'm sorry. It seems I've left out.
Yeah. The only known counter to Archie's invulnerability superpower. I ain't gonna crash out. I like this thing. Hey, but if you like this right now, this is getting kind of long. Do that YouTube thing that you do. Like, share, subscribe. I gotta take a little bitty of a breather. Yeah.